It is now.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm part of Draw Logic.
Hell yeah.
I play the Dragon and Player decks. And today I'm doing a deck profile on Aelquilibra.
Hell yeah, dude.
So we'll start with the ride line. Sunrise Egg.
Nice.
Rockweiler Dragon.
Okay.
Rock and Whirler Dragon, that's German. It has the ability of when it's rode on by this grade 2, you can call it the rear guard and soul charge 1, it's like the Varga grade 1.
Oh, sick.
And then there's Gatling Cannon Dragon, but it's K-A-N-O-N-E. And then it has the ability of when Aelquilibra rides over it, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you add 1 card to hand and put the other 2 on the bottom of your deck in any order. If you add an Overcharge unit, you soul charge 1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Overcharge being the mechanic that this deck has. This is Aelquilibra, your boss monster. It has the standard skill of Soul Blast to choose 3 units, give them +5. If 2 of the 3 units that you chose were overcharge units, you draw a card. And then it has a once per game divine skill, where it's Counterblast 1, choose 2 of your units, and they get +5. And then it damages your opponent. If they reveal a trigger for the damage, they neg 10. They reveal the over trigger, you end your turn.
You cry about it, yeah.
So deck's standard, I run 3 main deck Aelquilibra.
Right.
The longevity of the deck is really nice because I run 4 of this order. It is to equalize the scales of the world. It is Counterblast 1, choose 2 units with the overcharge ability from your drop zone with different names, and then Calm Rigor.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool.
I run 2 bodies for Counterblast 1.
I run 1 Panzer check. This is, I'm testing this. I might run another card up at 2 instead of Panzer check. Panzer check is overcharge when it attacks. When it attacks, you can energy charge or energy blast 3. It gets +15, and then after the battle it attacks, retire it, draw a card. It's useful. The main thing that I have with this deck, the issue I run into, is that you run out of energy really easily. Then you have the MVP, and you run out of energy because of this guy. This is Drag Ritter Shalhub. He has, if you have 2, or if you have 3 or more units with the, I was going to say 2 other, but I say that because he counts himself.
Right.
If you have 3 units with the overcharge ability, this unit gets +5. That is not locked to your Aelquilibra, so you can rush with this on your grade 2 turn. And then it has the overcharge ability of when this is overcharged, when your Vanguard attacks, energy is about 3, standard, and it gets +10.
Okay, okay.
So this deck is 3 attacks with the potential of 5.
Yeah. Are you mulling for this card often?
I don't actually mull for this card. I think that mulling for multi-attack cards is fine, but this deck creates so much power, it just punches your opponent very hard.
Are you mulling for like early game pressure cards, or what's your typical mull game?
Mulling for order.
Okay.
I mull for the order. I try to keep overcharges in my hand, and then I mull for order.
Okay.
I run 4 cyclers.
Insane.
It's a cycler. My Regalia of choice is actually Twin Cast.
Okay.
My reasoning for it is this deck does have drawing issues. And like I don't mind pitching a Twin Cast up for a ride up, or I'll ditch it. Sometimes I have had instances where I have Elementaria and this in the hand, and I'm like, well, goodbye.
Yeah.
And then you just use it from the drop zone. I'm thinking of using ladder. I'm still testing out the build. This is probably my favorite card. This is Drag Ritter EDL. He has on placement. If you have 2 units with the overcharge ability, by the way, he has overcharge. He counterblasts 1. He draws a card, and then he soul charges it. The reason that is really good is if you go second, right? Or if on your grade 2 turn, you can call this out from your soul. It has overcharge. Then you call him, and you have 2 units with overcharge. So on your grade 2 turn, you counterblast 1, you draw a card, you soul charge, and then you have a body on the board.
And a column. Yeah.
It sets up pretty good. I run orders in my deck.
Yeah.
I run 4 of the countercharger. So this. Oh, by the way, my bad. Both of these have the same overcharge ability. The overcharge ability is they get +10. So when you target it with +5, it gets +10.
Let's see.
So 23s on their own.
Yeah.
The 4 triggers are persona rating. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, well, and the other thing to keep in mind is, so like you can divine skill and target another like a unit again for the +5. However, if they are already in overcharge state, it doesn't activate it again.
Right.
It is a conditionary state of being nil. So you won't get another 15 if you do it. You just get another 5, which sometimes that works. And then her ability is after she boosts, retire her counter charge. Pretty good. This is the card that I'm thinking of running as a 2 of over a 1 of. This is the card where on place, ditch a card from your hand, search your deck for an order, put it in your drop zone, put the order to the bottom of your deck, activate order. The order in this deck is very critical, so having a 5th or 6th copy, like I mentioned, I might change Panzer Check to it, makes it a lot more consistent with having a board. Decks like Varga exist. Langenmeyer is a bad example. There are decks that retire, and especially next set. But this deck is a lot different next set. Now we're going into the Mega Generics, my favorite part of the video. Elementaria, 3 PGs. I run fronts.
Nice.
Fronts, you know, you're always having a full board in the front. You'll always have 2 rear guards standing, and I don't like draw triggers, so if I can avoid running draws, I will, because there have been so many times where my damage is draw trigger, draw the over trigger, and I'm like, well, that would have been nice to damage. 8 critical, 4 heal, and then a Dragon Empire deck that can use Drag Beta.
Yeah.
I think the deck is pretty good. I think it really comes down to the pilot. It on its face value seems very, oh, well, like you hit big number and it requires like no thought. And like, yeah, but like your call sequencing is important. So like a prime example, like on your grade 2 turn, when you call this, if you call this, you need to keep in mind that these are 2 8Ks in the same column.
Right.
That can matter. So there have been times where, like on my grade 3 turn, to set up my drop zone, I will call the grade 2 over this grade 1, putting this in the drop zone. This has overcharge, use the order, call it back.
No.
Right.
It's a weird kind of juggling. The other thing that is, you do soul charge a lot. I wouldn't rely on your over trigger, but this deck doesn't really need to. It is nice to hit. My main issue, I guess, I would say would be consistency with card draw, but that again, like, it hits for such big numbers. Like, you can, while your opponent's at grade 2, swing with something with 56,000 power.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big number, and your Vanguard, like, if you have a booster, so, like, I'll use this as an example. I should use these as an example. Oh, yeah, sorry, one other effect. Aelquilibra gets +10 if you chose units for the overcharge. 2 units for the overcharge. So, you have this, you have this. You've targeted this for your overcharge. This has +15. He has +10, so that is a 23. You persona, that's 33. +15, that's 48. 48 plus 8 is 56 from your Vanguard alone.
You should get that back.
For just hitting passive persona and calling a card.
Yeah.
Really wild.
For a bit, I was like the divine skill isn't really that necessary, but once you hit someone to 4 and you have a board full of overcharged units, like that's not a good situation for them to be in.
Yeah.
I've eaten hands that are like 15 cards. I've eaten hands that are like 10 cards. Generally, like if you see your opponent and they have 7 cards in their hand and you have a full board, like
It's over.
it is very hard for them to recover from that. I like the deck. I think it's good in the right hands. It just you have to be aware of your plays. Your plays are critical and important. I mean, it's obviously a decent deck because it won our Vanguard day. I wasn't playing it. I played Varga, but it did win Vanguard day, so it has potential. Just that's all I have. I'm Joe, and I'm not good at doing intro exits.
You're good. Thanks, Brent.
All right, take it easy.